Oh, goodness. Happy Friday, folks. Maybe February. What's up? Levi's. Let me see here. Hello, weekend folks. How's everybody doing? It's another Friday. Finished work. Wasn't sure if I was gonna come again because I'm freaking tired. But I figure I'm trying to be consistent, of course, in reaching out for live streams every week. How's everybody doing? Sorry I didn't come with a subject tonight because. Thank you, Stephen. That's very kind. Because I've been working my butt off night and day. So I didn't have time to plan anything today. Hey, H. Franco. What's up? Leo Sandstorm. Everybody animating? Everybody having fun out there? Any plans for the weekend? I just finished my fourth shot last night on the new thing I'm creating for my latest collaboration. And it's coming out really cool. Excuse me. I'm not sure if any of you were at my last live stream where I was animating the character that's in the box downstairs, and then my camera or my phone, I should say, ran out of batteries right in the middle of my live stream. And when it, sorry, I swallowed something. When it runs out of batteries, I didn't get to keep the live animation that I was doing to share on YouTube or anything like that. So what a bummer, I lost it. But some of you got to see some of the new critter that I'm animating, and hopefully that was kind of fun. I have about 4 more shots that I'm doing where I'm compositing stop motion and animation, and I'm sure I'll live stream one of those animation sessions too for anyone who didn't get to see it. But I'm really happy with how it's coming out. It's really exciting. Mellow Maid is a really exceptional stop motion artist. If you're not following her on Instagram, go follow her. And me and herself are doing a collaboration. Yeah. So I kind of revealed it in the last live stream a little bit with some live stream. Yeah. I am definitely moving towards my next character here. I'm going to put down my collaboration for a little bit to start bringing this guy to life, who some of you guys saw in some of my other posts recently, where I showed how I made this little clay character for practicing and doing some some animation tests for the channel as well as for tutorial purposes. And I'm really excited because the monkey, who was designed by a friend of mine, Roy Stein, who's another artist that you guys should follow, Roy Stein, on Instagram. He designed the monkey for me on a project we were going to do a long time ago in CG. And the project fell away and we never did anything, but I always loved the character design. So I'm like, man, I'm just going to make a puppet. And I'll teach you guys how to make claymation puppets while building it. And then I'll also animate it and have a lot of fun. So me and the monkey over there, the flying monkey, are going to kick off this weekend. Leo Sandstorm. I do CG every day. That's what I do. If you're talking about personal projects, I guess is what you're saying. I don't really do CG for personal projects anymore because I do it every day at work. I animate for Blizzard, so so I'm kind of creating short films there all year, as far as the projects that we work on. So when I come home, I want to get my hands dirty, and I want to create artwork that I can touch and feel, and also work with my wife Shell, and work with my daughter, and feel my artwork. So I like to get off the computer when I go home. You know, I still use the computer, but roughly get off the computer and just use my hands and feel my artwork. Hey, William, thank you. Yeah, the flying monkey. What am I going to do with that character? I don't know, but I'm going to come up with some ideas probably tonight and then kick it off. In the flying monkey here. I don't know how many of you saw like kind of how I did the construction of it, but it has a wire armature. I put tie downs in the feet, put tie downs in the hands. I have some flying rig holes in the butt and underneath so I can fly them. Everything's wire as far as the wings go. Flap, flap, flap. The tail's clay and wire. The torso right here is kind of an epoxy, so it hardens and I can touch it without destroying the clay. So like if you see where I'm touching it right now, the nose and the back of the head, that will be a solid spot, right? Because when you're working with clay characters, they completely get destroyed every time you touch it. So giving a couple of what we call grab points will allow me to animate easier instead of constantly resculpting. So that's why I did it. And it's a smart thing to do pretty much anytime you do a claymation puppet. Yeah, I hear you. Working day in, day out in a CG behind a computer, then going home and doing the same burned me out so much. Yeah, you know, Leo, just so you know too, I have done CG films in my career, or my personal artwork career, and I used to make short films in CG, and I enjoyed it very much, but I'm so much more fulfilled by doing physical artwork. And I'm also, like I said, just working with your family is amazing. It's so fun to collaborate and just gather around and do artwork. You're my favorite animator in the world. Oh man, I am so honored. Thank you, E. Garcia Godson. Thank you. Wow, that's really, really cool. I'm amazed. Grab points. Yes, grab points are super important. Super important in any puppet. Even, just so you know, like when I was working on Kubo, anytime you work with a new puppet, if they're wearing clothes, like here, like my shirt, right? If every time I touch it, you see there's new wrinkles, right? If you're seeing that on film, it's going to be like, it's called chatter, right? So when you're grabbing any character, be it Paranorman or the sisters or, you know, some eggs from Boxtrolls, whatever character you have to figure out where you need to grab them to create the least amount of chatter, while being able to physically manipulate the character how you want. Got a question here. Let's see. What kind of lights do you use for your set? Do you use LEDs? Yeah, I use LEDs. I use tungstens. I use like real full bulbs. I use all kinds of stuff. But most of my lights are mini moles, 250s, 5K, 1K, 500. Like I got a bunch of different lights. I've shown them a few times on my live streams. You could probably go check one out. But yeah, I use LEDs too, for sure. Let's see. How do you feel about using mediums outside of foam latex? Well, that guy's clay, right? The monkey's clay. This guy is silicone. So I love silicone. I love foam latex, and I don't love clay. Let me take that back. I don't love clay. Clay's cool, but it's not my favorite because stop motion is hard enough as it is. It's so hard. And then when you add clay to it and you're constantly having to resculpt your character, and it kind of limits how far you can push certain poses because it breaks things, or you're constantly resculpting, clay is not my favorite. But it has a magical quality because it's so organic, and it has a look like this character that is, it's fun. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's kind of fun because it's rougher. It's not as refined design-wise as like a, obviously like the dinosaur right there. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? That's like photoreal dinosaur from a movie like Jurassic Park. And then you have a big cartoony monkey that can be, from a cartoon, and it has imperfections and lines that aren't as defined. So something really cool about that. But it's hard to work with. It's really, really hard to work with. Any tips for animating fighting action scenes? That's one of my specialties, apparently, is doing fighting and doing combat and action stuff. I get cast a lot in movies that I work in, or games that I do, whatever, TV shows, because I'm good at it. So tips. Understanding force, physics, follow through, weight. These are things that are very basic to the craft of animation, but not everyone has a great understanding of them, right? So if you're able to show weight and force being driven through the body, good mechanics, which is balance and shifting of weight and flexing in the body, follow through, and secondary action as far as physics, personal physics on every part of the body. That's where all the magic is as far as creating believable action. And as far as fighting goes, I choreograph, in my head, or I choreograph with my wife, Shell, when we do fights and stuff, or I do something for a fight for work. So I work it out so I understand what I'm going to do before I do it. And then I can take that information, at least that, what we call score, like in dance. My wife's a dancer, right? So a score when you're a dancer is like a rough outline of what your movement is going to be. And then you work within that score. You can improvise, you can shift or get a new idea, whatever it is, but you kind of follow the route, the map that you've laid out. So it's not rigid, but it gives you a nice structure to then create something really dynamic and push. So I don't know, I guess workout, choreograph before you start, apply really good animation, the craft of animation to your fight, and it's going to look really good. You could study things like, obviously, live action footage for fighting, or you could study things like anime movies or big cool fights from things like that, and see what they did that worked really well. And you can see probably some really cool poses or a certain kind of timing and energy to some of the action they do. That could help you too. How long does it take to do a 1 or 2 minute video? It takes months to do a 1 or 2 minute video. And that depends, right? Like if I'm working full time, is there lots of characters? Is there dialogue? All of that makes it either longer or shorter. Depending, am I shooting at 24 frames per second? Am I shooting at 12 frames per second? Whatever. All of those will make it longer or shorter. But I would say a minute is, if you're working straight and you have support, you could probably put 3 to 4 seconds a day. Say 4 seconds a day, right? So that's going to take a little while to get a minute. Which I'm sorry, I have 20 seconds a week. So you might, maybe like 5-6 weeks, you could do a minute. Something like that. And that's kind of a rough understanding there. Or a rough estimate, I should say. I love the way you did Kubo and the 2 strings. Thank you. Thank you. Grab points. Back to grab points. Monkey had all that fur all over him, right? And if you didn't grab it right, it would chatter. So you had to have special places that you would grab her while you were animating her so it didn't go out of control. Where can you find clay? Art stores, come on. Amazon, come on. I get asked all the time for these things, and I'm like, what? How do you find this? I mean, Amazon has everything on the planet. You can just type in anything and find it on Amazon. Just put it in Google, you'll find stuff. But art stores, any art store, Michael's. In America, we have a store called Michael's. It's an arts and crafts store. They have tons of clay. Tons of wire. Anything you need to like build that monkey, you can get at Michael's. Have any advice for a beginner with no stop motion experience? Practice. Buy a book. There's a book called Stop Motion Filmmaking, which will give you a big, broad version of what working in stop motion is. Everything from cameras to lights to building puppets to basic animation knowledge. If you want to get a little bit more advanced, by the Animator Survival Kit. It's a book that teaches the craft of animation, which is how you will become a good animator. But for a true beginner, just use your phone, some clay, use your phone and maybe an action figure and just start moving things and have some fun. But yeah, just jump in. Which kind of silicone do you use? Dragon skin, but a lot. They're just different kind of thicknesses or thinnesses depending on what we're working on. Like we just cast a wolf puppet recently and we used, it's like a number. I don't remember what number it is, but it's like a fairly soft silicone that, we use I can't remember what it's called, but an activator. So you pour that in and you mix it into the ink, and then I can paint it into my molds, or Shelly can paint it into the molds, and it'll dry faster. It'll activate faster, and then we can pour the big mass in after we're done painting the core skin of the body. But it's basically like a dragon skin, silicone. What is the best way to modify figures for animation? Drills. Drills. I just drill holes, and then I'll use epoxies and glues to attach certain things like a tie-down hole or a rig in the butt or back. I'm really barbaric with my figures because all I care about is animation. And when I modify them, I don't really modify that much. All I've been modifying, like that Reaper animation I just did, 0 modifications. 0. That is the toy. I drilled a freaking hole in the back so I could stand it up, and I put sticky wax on the feet. That's it. He-Man characters, I drilled holes in the butt. I shaved down the biceps a little bit because he's so buff, just to be able to get a little bit more range. I shaved down some of the quad a little bit and the hamstring and the quad so I could bend the legs a little more. But really, and I put in tie downs. That's pretty much it. But you can animate without modifying characters too. You only modify if you have something specific you want to do. How many characters do I have? You mean personal characters I've created? I've got hundreds. I've been inventing characters since I was a little kid. So puppets, I don't know. I might have like 15 or 20 different puppets, different unique puppets that are floating around the house and stuff like that. I think my first film, Gerald's Last Day, had like 9 characters, something insane like that, which I do not suggest. Your first time filmmakers should make a film with 9 characters, but 9 characters in that. Dogonauts had a couple of characters, of course, but then it also had their families, which was like a mother, a child, a flea, and then a mother and child of Dober. There's been a few. And then I got puppets all over the place, dinosaurs and monkeys and Reapers and Tracers and all my Overwatch stuff. Quite a few. How do you feel about stop-mo combined with 3D or motion graphic elements? Do you prefer pure stop motion? Yeah, I do. I definitely prefer pure stop motion. I think it's neat. how you can mix the two, and it's a cool tool. But I always prefer pure stop motion, pure real backgrounds, real sets, real props, real lighting, all that stuff. So preference, that's mine. Any artist tips on making a dinosaur like the one you have made? So here, this T-Rex here, Eduardo Oropesa at T-Rex Productions. I've been, giving him a little shout out every week. He made me that T-Rex from Jurassic Park. That was a collaboration we did. And he actually just made me some velociraptors too, which will be animated alongside this guy here. And it's going to be amazing. I'm going to do a really amazing badass fight with some velociraptors and the old T-Rex. So if you want to make your own T-Rex, you got to learn to sculpt, right? So really good reference. There's so much reference for great dinosaurs online. Get the reference, print it out, and start sculpting. Build a wire armature, start laying on clay and aluminum foil, build up the body, start texturing it. You build it in kind of a generic pose so that you're able to mold it. Unless you're going to do clay or something, you mold it, and then you have to cast it, and then you have to paint it, and you make an armature, and it's a long process. That dinosaur right there took, 7 weeks, 8 weeks to make, at least. Probably more like 12 weeks. It's a long process. Anytime you're involving molding, painting, casting, it's a lot of work. But those are the skills you need. And I would start with learning how to mold and sculpt. Those are really good. That's how I started, and it was really fun too. Any news on the Patreon? Yeah, so I have lots going on, you guys. I'm not sharing with you everything that's going on. I'm working like crazy at Blizzard. I'm working here on my personal social media stuff. I have a big thing happening on the side right now that's going to be taking a lot of my time, but it's an amazing project that I'll be playing on. And so Patreon is kind of just cooking slowly. That's what I would say. It's just a slow cook because when I launch it, I want to launch it and I want to be able to support it with like putting up my videos. I'm going to just announce it here. I might as well tell with you guys, but I'm lining up some stuff from my YouTube channel, which is, and also the Patreon, which is going to be some podcasts. But there'll be video podcasts, so you'll be able to see me talking to some people that I think a lot of you would like to hear and, just talk shop, right? So you can hear from me interacting with some of my other professional buddies and telling stories and, sharing a lot of cool nuggets for people that are interested in what we do. So keep... Johnny G is a jerk. All right. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll be careful. There's a few jerks on here every once in a while. It's kind of funny. Do you still have your first figurines? I don't. Unfortunately, my first puppets just were, pretty crappy. They broke. They were in a drawer where they got kind of destroyed and everything over time. And they weren't that cool anyways. But I still have my first ones that I had, like with Gerald's Last Day, the dog movie, right? Like all those puppets that are in that short, the tough guys, the rich couple, the little girl, the adopter, everyone in that I still have. And I might even bring them out to play every once in a while to create more content. I have Dober, I have Flea, I have all my characters still. Just the earliest ones I don't have. Do you ever design molds with injection points? Yes, all the time. So the injection point on the wolf that we just made, we literally drilled some holes in the mold so we can just squirt in the silicone when we do the final cast. We do that all the time. And we'll be doing that for the Viking too. Question, QMan77. Have you utilized any 3D printing applications into your puppet making or even considered it? Yeah, I have. I'm going to try it for my Viking short. I have a real three-dimensional clay character, or like clay sculpt of the full face and everything, but I'm working with a 3D artist to create replacement shapes for the mouth, and I'm going to try it and see if I like it. And if I like it, I will use that for the dialogue in my Viking short. So I'm in the experimental phase of starting to play with it because I really do think it's an amazing tool. And it could be really rad for another way for me to level up in my garage filmmaking. When you started out from S. Raleigh Animation, when you started out animating, did you ever struggle struggle to start or finish projects? No, but I'm crazy. I'm a crazy person. Sorry. I never ever, I'm able to hyper focus, and I'm able to, and this is a little lesson that I learned very early in life, is like, finish what you start. And I know it's hard. And if you're able to finish what you start, no matter what it is, the smallest thing, crappiest drawing, whatever it is, instead of abandoning it, just finish it and move on. It sets up a pattern of behavior for your whole life that will serve you. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I always would make my kids finish what they start, always growing up. And it was just a really big thing because it becomes a pattern to abandon things or to quit in the middle or when things get hard. And I think, you can apply that discipline to anything you ever do in life. So I really, really make sure that I don't quit things that I start or have trouble get going. I just make myself. I literally make myself. It's discipline, and it's hard, and then it's not hard, if that makes sense. The more you do it, the more it becomes a pattern, and then it becomes a habit, and then you don't even have to work, and it just happens. And that's me getting in the garage at night and animating. It's me coming to a live stream when I'm tired as hell, and I've been working, and I've stayed up all night animating, and I taught early this morning, and a lot of things going on, and it's a discipline. So I don't. I'm sorry, but that started very young. I really, really, really valued that. Hey Justin, what do you think of Blizzard's? I think that might be the jerk, so I'm not going to answer that. Yeah, that guy's the jerk, huh? Silly rabbits, I'm telling you. Have you, okay, Lego Wolf Studio. Have you ever tried back projecting while animating? No, man, I haven't, but I'm really into that. I love that idea because it's classic Harryhausen stuff. I've done a lot of blue screen recently, but I haven't done that. And I think I'm seeing a lot of toy photographers really do cool stuff where they're just using their monitors, putting up these big digital backgrounds for their characters, and it's really effective. And I guess it's very much like what they're doing on Mandalorian with these giant projected CG backdrops that they can shoot on set with real cameras. I'm into it. I'm definitely into trying, and at some point I might, especially if monitors get big enough where I can really maybe get away with some background stuff. So because I don't like compositing blue screen. I prefer everything to be real on set. So definitely something I want to try. Johnny GV23, love pulling pranks on you. Great person. Jerk. Is stop motion animation harder than doing animation in software like Maya? Hell yes. Are you kidding me? It's a million times harder. A billion times harder. Animate, I mean, I'm not at all dissing CG animation. CG animation, to be a great animator, is hard, and it takes a lot of work and real knowledge of the craft. But it's so much easier than 2D. It's so much easier than stop motion. It's ultimate forgiveness, ultimate undos, ultimate idea changes, ultimate timing shifts. You don't have to have any physical skills, if that makes any sense, because the computer does everything for you. So pretty much it's just a mind. If you have a mind that understands animation, you can apply it to anything. That's it. You don't have to, like, you have to actually be able to draw. You have to actually understand draftsmanship. You have to actually be able to maybe sculpt or physically deal with real artwork, one frame at a time. There's no in between filling out. There's no poses you can change. Everything's straightforward in animation. And if you ever try it in stop motion animation. If you ever try stop motion, you'll learn very quickly how much harder it is than CG. Yeah, uncomparably easy compared to those others. Okay, Vico, what's up, dude? Vico Souza, I'm great. Can we be friends? I think we are friends, man. I see you every week. Vico, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely friends, man. I love seeing your growth as an animator, you know? It's really, really cool. And your passion, too. Okay, Belle Bariel Alexandra, do you think animating in 3D first and then using this as reference for stop motion is okay? I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. It's just kind of weird, right? That's like you're animating it twice, I guess, in that way. But I guess, yeah. I mean, if you wanna, I guess, kind of previs your animation, that's an approach you could take. But yeah, I've never really heard of that being done. The only time I really hear of that is in previs, like, which is a CG term, when you're blocking out cameras and action relating to the camera. Sometimes they'll do rough animation before the animator gets it to kind of understand real timing and posing as the camera's moving through space. But doing it before stop motion seems a little weird. But this is a little piece of that that's kind of interesting, is nowadays at Leica, the CG facial animation outside of the eyes and eyelids, like the mouths and the eyebrows, are done on the computer before they go out to the set. So that's kind of like a miniature version of what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, do whatever you want to do, man. You're animating. I'm happy. All right. Yeah, that jerk Johnny V23's writing more jerky questions. I'm gonna remember you next time. Okay, I see a Jack Skellington in your background. Did you ever seen Henry Selick's Monkey Bone? Yeah, I've seen Monkey Bone. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan of Monkey Bone. I got all kinds of Monkey Bone happening. Oh, who's that? That's Monkey Bone. I got some big Monkey Bone things happening in the future too, so stay tuned. Yeah, I'm a big fan. A lot of people don't like that movie, but I really enjoyed it, and I loved the animation. DGDX, what's up? Hey guys, if you don't know, DGDX is one of the best toymation people in the business. If you're not following him, go follow him. And also, you know, that's speaking of that, I have one of my students. I teach every week of multiple students, and one of my students in UK, who's a great animator at Play Stories. Go check him out on Instagram, Play Stories. He's starting a toy store, right? So he's a toy animator, and he's leaving his job to make a business selling toys. And the cool thing about him that makes him special is that he's an animator. He doesn't just love toys, but he's an animator. So he's a toymation guy, and he's really good. You can see his stuff at Battle Stories. I don't know if you've seen it. He does a lot of wrestling figure stuff. He's made a bunch of shorts for Mattel. But he's also a student of mine, and he's really talented. So I really want you guys to go check out his website for his new toy store. playstories.co.com. UK, sorry, .uk. Sorry, I'm remembering this. But playstories.co.uk. And he's going to be selling all kinds of cool figures, and he firsthand understands how they relate to animation. So he'll be putting up cool animations and stuff alongside the stuff that he sells. So pretty awesome dude. So make sure you go check that out. I put up a post tonight about it on my stuff. When are we going to make a feature? DGX Official wants to know when we're going to make a feature. Dude, that's like one of my biggest dreams ever, is to make an indie feature myself, right? Not outside of the studio system, just something I make. And we've talked about it a couple times, teaming up to make something with a few really talented people to make something happen independently. And I'm really into it. I really want to do this, and I'm working towards this goal as an independent animator, right? So someday I'm going to be able to walk away and do what I want to do. That's part of why I'm doing social media. That's part of why I'm working on my directing and creating kind of a community here, because I want to make movies. I want to tell my stories. So in the future, bro, I'm here. I'm talking to you. Okay, Justin, I don't have a rig. This is from Vico. I don't have a rig, so we'll start using wire instead of a real rig. Does it help? Yeah, it helps tremendously. You know, all these people see my fancy winders that are like, and they, and they're like, oh, I gotta have one of those. Dude, I didn't have a winder for like 12 years of my animating in stop motion. It wasn't until just a couple of years ago that I finally got a winder. I just used wire and weights. That's all I did all my animation with, and it worked fine. I had no issues with it. You still find when you go work on independent jobs, like if I'm going to animate for Nickelodeon on a SpongeBob stuff, there's still a lot of places where you just use a heavy foot and a wire to animate your character. You don't have to have expensive stuff to make your characters jump, especially at this stage of your development, Vico. Go for it. It's cheap and it works. And it'll even make you better because you'll be able to deal with more problems. Can you turn... Okay, this is from Bri Animations. Can you turn your stop motion into 3D keyframes? Like motion capture? I don't know. I've never seen that happen. I guess if you 3D scanned your figures, but that would be a very slow process for animating. Yeah, or like in Jurassic Park, where when Phil Tippett had an actual armature that was hooked up to the computer so that he could input the keyframes, basically, or the movement, his actual stop motion, directly to Maya or whatever program they were using back then. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's way too slow. Way too slow. Okay, favorite animes from Carlos Comke. Okay, I know I've said this before in many of my live streams. I am very limited in my anime knowledge, and I need to up my game there. But I grew up in America where there wasn't a lot of anime a long time ago because I'm older, and I didn't even see anime till I went to college, art school. And then I saw Akira and a bunch of other really weird stuff that I wasn't that into. And then I finally started seeing a couple that I was like, oh, that's cool. Like Ninja Scroll, I really like that one. And then there was like some Miyazaki stuff that I thought was pretty cool. So favorite? I don't even know if I could call it favorite. I mean, Ninja Scroll was probably one of my favorite because it was one of the first ones that I was like, that was cool. That was a really cool one. But there's things that are obviously inspired by anime that I like Avatar, Last Airbender. I really enjoyed that. I know it's very westernized in a lot of ways too, but me and my daughter and kids all love that one a lot. Very fun. Do you have any 2D work to show? So yeah, I wish I did. I have a very, very little. I went to school in the early 90s, and all of my artwork from back then, animation-wise, is pretty much gone because it was all on Super VHS, uh, you know, tapes from a million years ago. And over the years of traveling and moving, it's pretty much all lost. So I made a couple of 2D films in college that unfortunately I don't have anymore, and I'm very sad about it. But my hope is that I just create new stuff, because I know I'm a million times better of an animator now than I was even when I was in school. So even though that's what I did in school, which was 2D animation, I know I could do better now. So at some point I'm just going to do a 2D short, or at least some 2D tests that I'll be sharing with you guys as well. But sorry, I have very little. I have a couple little things that I've found over the years magically on hard drives. I did. Oh, you know what? The last thing I did was the little flip book. Tutorial time for my website. So that was 2D. A little bit of 2D animation there. What would be the basis theme for a dream project of yours? Ooh, from Shredder. HMDM. Shredder. The dream project for me. Magic. Fantasy. Magic. And when I say fantasy, it's not like I mean elves or anything, but an element of magic involved is very, very important. Color is very important. I know these are very vague, but I'm really into kid stories because I still remember the magic of being a kid. And then mixing it with some kind of fantastic creature or event or adventure, and all three would be a dream project for me. Other than that, Pinocchio is pretty amazing. That would be a dream project. Secret of Nim up there. Oh, if I could make that in stop motion, I would cry. That would be like tears forever. I get to do Secret of Nim in stop motion. I think it would be one of the most amazing things ever to bring that to life. That story to life in stop motion. So that would be my number one. Secret of Nim. All right, let's see. Is there any figure you're still looking for from Marvel Wars? You mean as a collector? There's figures that I kind of messed up and I didn't get them when I should have got them, and then they disappeared. But I can't tell you what they are right now. But I think there was a couple of collectible things over the years that I didn't move on. Oh, like RoboCop 2, the Kane model. I really wanted that, but it was like $1,500. I'm like, ugh. How do you spend $1,500 on a collectible? But man, I really wanted the Kane 2 collectible from Phil Tippett's RoboCop 2. That thing is amazing. Amazing. And someday when I'm rich and famous, maybe I'll get it. I'll buy it from someone. We'll see. Just figured I haven't done animation for 2 years. Does this mean I'm done? Finished? Kaput? No. Dude, no. Or whoever you are. I don't know. Aquel del Trolla del Cerro. No, of course you're not done. You can choose tomorrow, tonight, right now, anytime to become an animator. Just start animating again. It's just, dude, you're live. You're alive. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Make your choice. There's no kaput until you decide it is. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Abdul Rahman story. When to animate on ones and when to animate on twos. This is going to be a rough explanation because it's way more nuanced than that. But Abdul, Twos are for the small bits, the small moves, and ones when there's big moves, fast moves. You see my finger? See how it's going like that? If you don't have enough visuals in there during that movement, it's just going to look like that. You won't even see it, right? So you got to give enough visual information to be able to see that blur, to see that, to feel that energy of faster moves. But when it comes to like this, where I'm just slowly moving and idling like this, you can go to twos because the moves are so small, it's not going to matter. So that's when I go to twos, and then I go to ones pretty much most of the other times. Okay, what about Secret of Nim is exceptionally special to you? Everything! Everything! Oh my god, so this is QBand77. Color. Rich color. Character designs. The world. This magical world of talking rats that have been genetically engineered by weird scientists where they became intelligent. They became intelligent. Like, dude, and like, you know, I loved animals as a kid, so experimenting on animals was like creepy and weird to me. And the adventure, the mother being this really vulnerable, weak character that has to do these incredibly brave things to save her family, and this incredible strength she shows. Magic. Everything. I cannot look at a frame from that movie and not be crazy inspired. I love it so much. So, everything. All right, let's see here. Which old character in Shadowlands would you like to have the big role and the spotlight shed on? Shed on. Which character? I mean, I think the lights are pretty much on those characters, but we got Sylvanas, Anduin. I mean, you got the key players here. The one that I am so sad, of course, that we don't have with us anymore is Varrock. Sarfang, my favorite. I identified so much with Sarfang as a character in this world. I was just so sad to see him go. I want him to come back to life some magical way. But I think right now we're focused on the characters that are really important and matter and where the story's going. So I think we're on it at work, if that answers it. Would you be open to viewer animation critiques in the future? Perhaps a Patreon perk? Yeah, actually, this is on my list. Just so you know, Shredder, this is very much one of the Patreon levels. Is I teach, right? And I know I've mentioned this a few times. I teach privately. I have students. And I have to celebrate one of my students. He just got a job on Robot Chicken Season 11. So proud of him. Vincent, I'm proud of you, man. Good job. It was his goal from the beginning, and he literally just got the job yesterday. I'm so proud of him. So he's coming to California. He's going to be an animator on TV shows. Yeehaw! I don't know. I got off topic there or whatever, but I don't even remember what the question was. Sorry, guys. Oh. I'm going to go down. I'm skipping too many people's questions. Oh, right. So the Patreon. So giving feedback. So I teach, right? Mentorships. People pay me. I teach, right? And I give them this personal, private mentorships. But not everyone can afford my course, right? Because it costs like what it costs for a private mentorship. But on my Patreon, at a certain level, I'm thinking a higher level, of course, because you're still getting access to me, that I'll have some kind of offering of I'm calling it mini mentorship. So it's me helping people along with information in their animation career that is not 12 weeks of work or, meeting them every week, twice a week. It's just really small, but it'll be a smaller pay, right? but I might be able to give you advice or answer questions for a short period of time during the week, or feedback, whatever it is. So that is definitely one of the levels on my Patreon, 100%. Okay, Lego Wolf Studio. Any chance you would be recruiting for that feature? Oh, yeah, of course. I'm always looking for talented interns when we do big projects here at my house with me and my wife. We usually get kids from the schools out here to come in, and they learn a lot about how stop motion works, puppet making, set building. They get to see a production, an in-house garage production. So yeah, we're always getting people to help or people to help for our projects. And if we're doing a feature, we're going to need a lot of help. Always. Okay. ¿Cómo se llama tu trabajo? Okay, what is your name of my workplace? So Reynoso. Me llama es Justino, Justin. Mi trabajo es Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard Entertainment. Spanish. I think that's Spanish, yeah. Let's see. Hola from Reynoso. Okay. Hola, ¿cómo se llama tu trabajo de stop motion? So what is the name of my work in stop motion? Okay. Mi trabajo es Stunt Puppet Pictures. Stunt Puppet Pictures. That's the name of our company. But I also work for Leica. Or I'll work for Stupid Buddies. Or I'll work for Screen Novelties. Or any of the studios out here in Los Angeles. I'll work for any of them. Okay, I'm working on my final year animation film from Mr. Panini Head. Any tips for creating stable, cheap set walls that can be reused? Foam. The basic insulation foam, you can make anything out of those things. And if you just put like an L bracket on the back of it, a nice big L bracket, you're going to be able to drill it in, set it down, glue it, do whatever you want, and then take it off. Really easy. It's light. It's easy to move around. So insulated foam is pretty much what I would always suggest you use. Because you can do anything. You can carve it into anything. You can paint it. It's great. Okay, Vico, one of my dreams is to meet you. You're awesome, and that's very nice, Vico. If you ever come to America, hit me up. Try to give you a studio tour, which is my garage house. Very kind. Okay. MCRCB. Would you consider Child's Play 1 through 3 films animation based off the doll animatronics? Okay, man, so check this out. When I went to art school, I was imagining that I was going to do special effects for movies. I didn't think I was going to do CG animation ever. Me and my brother went to art school, and we both wanted to do puppets, animatronics, masks, creatures. And he actually went off to do that. My brother worked on the heads for Ninja Turtles. He specialized in animatronics. I don't consider that totally animation. I consider it more puppeteering, because it's not a single frame at a time, and that's what I consider animation. It's just puppeteering. There's definitely performance. There's definitely amazing life that can be captured through animatronics, but I don't consider it animation. But it's cool as hell. I love a lot of the stuff in the Child's Play movies, for sure. And a bunch of, 80s freaking fantasy films, whatever. Huge fan. Are you going to show us again your making of, like you animating in real time? Yeah, I did this the other day, Vico. And I was animating the new character that I have in the garage right now, in that box, the secret character. And my phone went off, so I didn't get to upload it to YouTube so other people could watch it. But I will be doing it again. because my phone died. I didn't get the file that I could download. Sorry. But yeah, I'll be doing live animations, definitely, for sure. I started animating stop motion watching the Leo Legendary when I was 5. Now I'm 12 and I still love it. That's cool, Vico. That's awesome. For me, it was creature features. Harryhausen, Sinbad movies. I loved all those Jason and the Argonauts. Very, very cool stuff. Well, folks, it's Friday and I am going to hang out with my family. It's time to go get some exercise and have dinner and watch a movie. It's Friday. So thank you for coming, and I'll upload this to my YouTube for anyone who didn't get to see it. And then sorry I came in a little bit unprepared today because I worked and I have a lot of work, so I couldn't prepare. But I'll come in with more subject-based behavior soon. Later, guys.